Every single modification to this vehicle explained, justified, weighed in, real world tested without all the sales BS. I'm Ronny Dahl from Four Wheeling Australia. Welcome to Project LUXY. If you happen to have a stock vehicle, used vehicle, or you're completely new to four-wheel driving, this is a series you must watch.
Yeah, Hilux, they're unbreakable, aren't they?
On this episode of Project LUXY, we get a hard lid. And not just any hard lid. This is the AUTOSAFE UTemaster load lid. Yes, it can take heavy loads. Like me. I believe that most people who own a dual cab ute, like this one, Hilux, Ranger, whatever that might be, it is for work and play. That being the case, you want to make sure that your tools and your gear are locked away. And you can do that with a hard lid, you can do that with a canopy. You have lockable options. That is what the main reason this is about. If the hard lid is closed, your gear is safe, secure, can't be stolen that easily, and won't get sun fade, won't get wet, all those kind of things. That is why I think that everyone should need some kind of cover for the back of their utility. Now, you can, of course, just get a Tornico cover. Yes, you can get that, but anyone can open that up. The type of or style of hard lid I'm going for, I've never seen before, ever. It took me 2 months to find this, and I cannot wait to show you because it's so much more than just a hard lid. We're here at Medicar Automotive Solutions and we are getting the AUTOSAFE, it's a bit of a tongue twister this one, the AUTOSAFE UTemaster load lid put on. Now there's been a few features I didn't even know about that are extra on it, so we'll go through that. There's still a bit more wiring to be done. It's central locking as well, so we'll get to that a bit later. But this load lid can hold 200 kilos, it's full aluminium, it's got a framework underneath. Guys, this is George for Medicar Automotive Solutions.
Yes, thank you. And thank you very much for contacting us regarding the load carrying capacity of your ute. We know that you want to try and keep the weight down on your vehicle, but at the same time looking for a solution on how to carry additional weight, especially when you're out there.
I want to thank you guys for helping me out. What's the time now?
Yeah, well, it's about 7:30, 8 o'clock, ready to go.
7:30?
8 o'clock, but it's a pleasure. We do that. We understand that you're off on Thursday on a trip.
Yep, and so, it's Tuesday right now.
Yeah, so we organised the boys to stay late tonight managed to get this in stock ready to go for you. So we certainly pushed all the boundaries, but it's been a pleasure to actually physically put this on the vehicle for you. Yeah, and hopefully it'll do exactly what you want to do. Couple of features that you haven't realised, or obviously you're just starting to go through it.
I saw one of these just before.
Yeah, that's excellent. So if you just do want to get some air, or if you've got some animals or some puppies that you want to put in the back, rather than having the lid totally closed, these struts will allow you to lock the lid in an open position. So if you just bring it down and pull it down and clip that into place, it'll actually hold the lid open for you for some ventilation. So
there's one each side too.
There's one on each side, so your pets will be grateful for that. Once the lid is all in there, especially if you do get some inclement weather, the whole complete unit is completely waterproof. So all your sleeping material, all your bags will be completely 100% waterproof. It's completely got a seal on the top of it, and part of the framework, there is a full framework that we put on top of the tub, which makes it 100% waterproof for you.
So the only way water's going to get in is through those thin holes in the bottom that are factory.
That's it.
And through the tailgate.
And through the tailgate.
Because tailgates seal so well, right? But what rain comes from the top, that's the whole point.
That's it.
I didn't actually realise it had a whole frame around it either.
That strength, that gives it the whole complete total strength.
How many bolts?
Believe it or not, everything's within the framework. there is only 4 contact points on the inside. So even if you do want to remove this, it would only take you about half an hour to do so. Part of the wiring that we fitted, it all goes in with the original Toyota wiring harness. So there is only one plug underneath the corner that needs to be undone, 4 thumb screws, and the whole thing can be removed.
It weighs 47 kilos. As you know, I'm weighing every single thing I'm putting on this vehicle. So 47 kilos, we can open it with my spare tyre on it, my old spare tyre and rim combo. I kept one inside the back to ensure that it could actually, the struts could hold it. So that's a bonus. Previously on Project LUXY, we added 40 kilos by changing the wheels and the tyres. This 40 combined with today's 47 kilos from the hard lid puts us at 87 kilos added to the Hilux.
We're almost done. The boys are just about finishing with the central lock wiring.
When the wiring is run along your vehicle, it follows all of the factory wiring paths. When it comes into the engine bay, it's all got the factory Toyota gold heat shielding on it to protect it from everything. When we actually mount it, we make a loop in the cable so that if water runs along it, it all runs down and doesn't run through your firewall into your car. We're in the tub now, and all the wiring, as we mentioned before, follows the factory wiring all along the car, comes up the tub deep in the corner there. There's no holes drilled at all. All the connectors used are full weatherproof connectors to make sure all your wiring is all weather tight.
All right, all the best. Have a great trip.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Yes.
I'll see you at the full drive show too.
See you then.
Yeah. I'll let you know how we go.
Excellent. Enjoy.
Cool. See you, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's not dent it on the way out, eh? Alright guys, we've had this whole setup out now for 4 days out on the trip, and day 5 is about to start now. But I thought I'd just talk about the hard lid now. We've got pros and cons to cover and how it's been and how I found it for this trip with the whole tub and everything. As you can see, swag's on top. That is why I wanted to get this, was to put a spare tyre or a swag on top. So say for instance we did a long desert trip, I have a spare tyre underneath, I can now have a second spare on top, or cargo or whatever. I can open it with the swag on, which is great. As you've already seen, I could open it with a tyre on it anyway. Now there is a video about my camp setup coming up a bit later on from this shakedown trip we've done, so I'm not going to go into too much of all this stuff because otherwise it'll be a bit of a repeat. This is how I envisioned my setup from the get-go when I bought the Hilux, to have all my gear in here and a hard lid on top. But the hard lid had to be able to hold cargo. 200 kilos on the back here. Would I put 200 kilos on here? Maybe not, maybe up to 100, maybe somewhere there. Just having that option is a pretty damn good one. I can put 2 swags on here, I can put a tyre and a swag combo. We had the chainsaw in here next to the swag for a couple of days. I'm still going to put a roof rack on it because there are some permanent things I want to mount on a roof rack that I probably wouldn't mount here because I want this to be versatile, and that's what I think this whole ute lid is. It's quite versatile. It still needs to get past the old Ronny Dahl longevity test, but so far I'm very happy with my choice of doing this. Okay, using this has been awesome. My pack up and setup of camp is so quick, it's so easy. I was going to load a lot of wood on top of this during one of the days. We got the chainsaw out, chopped some wood up, but we ended up putting it in here because there's so much room in this tub. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to keep the tub, because if you use the tub correctly, there is so much more room in here than a tray. Trays sit a bit higher, tubs sit a bit lower. Yes, the wheel arches are a bit of a pain in the ass. Let's not forget about that. But if you utilize everything, like for example, put a water tank up that end, which I will do, it all comes together and you can have a really nice setup. And it shouldn't cost too much either, when you think about it. Comparing to selling a tub, buying a tray, putting a canopy on it, and then doing all your custom stuff to that. Which is also really good, but I've chosen to go this way and keep the tub. But this makes it so much more versatile. And not only that, we passed a few towns, a couple of pubs and whatnot. When we went in, central locking. I don't have the key on me right now, but just press the button. This is locked, that's locked, everything's locked in. The only thing that's exposed to thieves or elements is the swag on top. Whoa, just a quick message guys, before we go on about this a bit more. This vehicle will be at the Perth Full Drive and Adventure Show, so come down if you're local to Perth, check out the rig in person, the cruiser will be there as well. Ask me about the mods, and there'll also be some more mods on here that you won't see unless you're at the show. Well, after the show they'll be released on YouTube, but if you want a quick sneak peek of it beforehand, you want to ask me direct questions, I'll see you guys at the show. Back to the load lid. It's now time to go to the pros and cons, and I'm glad I took my time to take this on a trip because I picked up a few more cons and I picked up a few more pros for you guys. So let's get to that right now. 200 kilo loading capacity. So I wouldn't suggest maybe going to the 200 kilos, but you can load weight on top of it. That's pretty damn handy. That's a good pro. And that's the main reason why I went for this one in particular, because any normal hard lid, if you stood on it, it'll more than likely crack. Some of them will definitely crack because they're thin. 47 kilos, it doesn't add too much weight to your vehicle. So I guess that's another pro there. Having the tie downs, being versatile, let's just say versatile. That's a good pro. Pro, central locking, opens, shuts really easy, opens with a load on it, that's another pro. Getting your vehicle straight from the dealership and then putting one of these on it, you've already increased the versatility of your vehicle. That's another pro. We already covered versatility, I guess. Everything in here is secure, dust-free, water-free. Apart from, you know, having a tailgate, they don't really seal too well, so you're probably going to need to do something about that. Also in particular on the Hilux, at the very end of the tub near the headboard, it's got these little fins. Dust can also get in there. So you need to seal that, you need to sort this out to really keep all the dust out. Once you've done that, this will do the job from the top. You need to sort the bottom out. One other pro we need to close it for, it retains the sports bar. Now you can get one that doesn't retain a sports bar. Actually, the sports bar gets removed and it's probably more versatile actually. The sports bar is more for a looks thing and that's why I've kept the sports bar on there. I think we're just about out of pros. The last two pros I can think of is the fact that it has a dog latch mechanism so you can keep your pets in here. Look, I did put my dog in there, Marley. She's a bit too big, so it would have been handy to have it a little bit longer, but most people have mid-sized dogs. Not many people have a dog the size that I have, a 52 kilo Ridgeback. And if you got some dirty gear, you can strap it on top. So say these Max Tracks got dirty, I'd throw them on top rather than have them in here. Now to the cons. There are a few. One, I guess, is the price, but is it a con? This goes for about 3.5 grand. This sounds like a lot of cash, right? But a canopy, I'm not sure how much they go for, but I'm pretty sure they're more than that. But the other one that doesn't retain a sports bar, I think that's about $1,000 cheaper. So that's about 2.5 grand. Your normal hard lid, a good quality normal hard lid is about 2 grand, $1,800 to $2,000 from my research. So I guess what you're paying for is the looks and the versatility of being able to put weight on it. So that's something you need to weigh up, is the price. And if you can't quite afford the one that I have, maybe you need to look at the one where you don't have the sports bar. Some people don't like the sports bar. So That might be a con for some people. Some cargo is restricted. Reaching to the back is a bit of a pain in most situations, but with a hard lid like this, you can see the angle tapers down, so it does get a bit difficult to reach for stuff in the back. However, if you set your vehicle up right, you shouldn't need to get to the back, but it's still something you need to factor in. The next con, I would say, is the lighting. It doesn't come with a light, so you need to put that in. So I don't know if that's really a con, but hey, it's something that's kind of missing. There is a rumour though that in future ones of these, it may be coming. Back on restriction of cargo, so say you're a tradie, you need to take the hard lid off. To do that, you'll need 2 people to take it off. I guess that's a bit of a con, but I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. Anything else you can think of that's pros or cons, put them down below. One final con that you need to be aware of, strapping items down to the top of this. It's not like a non-slip surface, so you have to be careful. If you stack firewood on here and you have to hit the anchors hard, you could send stuff through the window. If that's something that is a concern to you with putting stuff here, you'll probably need to consider putting some kind of barrier where the sports bar is, just to stop things from sliding into your window. Just a thought. Modifications I'm thinking about doing to my load lid. I'm going to put a light here shining that way, and I'm going to put a light here shining down so I can get more versatility out of the whole system and use this as perhaps a cooking platform, or I'm opening my ice box at night, I can see what's in there. I can also see the cargo. That's something I'm going to do to it right here. Also on top of it, probably going to mount a light here and a light here looking back, and maybe I'll put some non-slip on here, but if you tie things down, it shouldn't really slip around anyway. That's about it, guys. I honestly didn't think I'll be able to talk about a hard lid so much. It's just so much to cover because it's a really cool unit. Like, got these little slots here for tie downs as well, as you can see. A bit loose there. That's about it, guys. What do you think? Stay tuned for the next modification video for the Hilux. Actually, there's a shakedown trip coming up. I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.